Gentlemen, I do also want to ask you about some news we've heard. And I'm sorry to say, Dale, because I'm sure you'd have loved him at Forest Green, but Jurgen Klopp is back in football, but he's not on the sideline. He'll be taking up a bit of a different role. He'll be the global head of soccer at Red Bull. So he'll be looking over coaching development, transfers, playing style at RB Leipzig, Red Bull Salzburg, New York Red Bulls, and Red Bull Bragantino as well. It's obviously good to see him back within football. Dale, just firstly, are you surprised he did say he was running out of energy? I mean, Red Bull was the perfect place to go for him, if that's the case. But are you surprised not to see him back on the sideline? Are you surprised to see him taking up this kind of role, or do you feel that this is the right step for him now?
Well, it is surprising. I mean, you make me laugh because it's like you have to wonder, did they set this whole thing up with a big marketing ploy? A big extended commercial, do you know what I mean? Red Bull gives Klopp wings. But, yeah, I think he was fantastic at Liverpool. I was a big fan of the team and of him, actually. You know, his interviews, the way he talked and explained himself and stuff like that. And what he said seemed to make a lot of sense. Look, he'd run out of energy for the game and he was going to quit. Maybe, you know, having a bit of time off, he's got his energy back, you know. I mean, why not?
Does it surprise you slightly because of the reputation that Red Bull have in Germany? They're not hugely, that whole franchise is not hugely loved by the supporters, just given what it represents. Are you surprised that Klopp, given how he's talked in the past, has gone for that kind of role?
Yeah, I think that is surprising, and you make a good point there. The Bundesliga is very differently run. You know, the fans have a very different ethos in Germany around their football than what we find in the Premier League. So, I mean, I'm not a fan of it either, the franchise model. Yeah, it's surprising, but hey, you know.
Stefan, do you think it's a case of the money talking from Red Bull for Klopp to take that job?
Well, partly. I mean, you're talking about somebody who, you know, best in the business or you know, one of probably the top three managers. I suspect he's probably looking at it in terms of what he can learn as well. I mean, I think he may not immediately have an affinity for the Red Bull model, but he's clearly going to learn a lot from going into a multi-club organisation like Red Bull that will clearly do things differently from Liverpool. And you know, from Dortmund where he's been before, so I think that will give him something interesting to build. I think it's probably a very good opportunity for him to step back in a phased manner. So you know, we don't know the exact reasons why he left Liverpool, but potentially some kind of burnout. Well, this appears to be an opportunity where, you know, he can kind of pace himself back in, and I believe he's also got a carve out and a release clause in case the German national job comes up, which...
Does it feel like a stopgap before that, do you think?
Well, you wouldn't want to be Nagelsmann hearing about that this morning, but yeah, I mean, clearly he wants that job. If that's true and he's allowed that to be publicised as being a release clause, then clearly he wants that job. And this feels like, you know, a good way for him to earn quite a lot of money, I suspect, learn quite a lot about multi-club organisations and about the Red Bull way. And, you know, for everything we might say about Red Bull, and we know that they're very unpopular, they've clearly done a very good job in terms of building a brand around football from a marketing perspective, whether we like it or not, but also the way in which they play football, you know, is universal around the group. They have done things well. I mean, the way they brought players on and sold on, so that they are a disruptor in the game. And I think, you know, Klopp probably sees the opportunity to learn, and you know, and we'll see how it goes in terms of other opportunities that come up along the way. So I think for Klopp, it's a great move, really.
Yeah, I mean, they've hired the right man for high-energy football. Just on that multi-club model as well, Dave, what do you make of that kind of thing that Red Bull are trying to do at the moment? Do you think it's a good thing for football? Do you have a strong opinion on it?
Not a strong one, but I would come back to my point earlier. You know, football clubs are about community first and foremost. And so, you know, if you have a multi-club set up with one brand, irrespective of the club's history, location, all that kind of stuff, you know, that's against that ethos entirely. I think what Stefan said about them being disruptive and perhaps bringing some new approaches to the game that are beneficial, I think that's a fair point.
So we'd never see a Red Bull Forest Green?
Never. Not while I'm here.
Fair enough. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much. It's been a real pleasure. That's it from us this week. Thank you very much for your company, and thanks to our panellists, Stefan Borson and Dale Vince as well. For now, see you next time.